Monday, September 27th, 2021. Today on the Daily Review, we discuss a made-for-TV movie from 1972. Does that mean it's not good? No, that means it's really, really good. It's Truman Capote's The Glass House, starring Alan Alda and Vic Morrow and Clu Gulager. Today on the Daily Review, directed by Tom Grise. Oh yeah. It's The Glass House. Billy D. Williams is in there too. This movie's got everything. Okay, it's a prison movie. Here's a prison movie. I had never heard of this movie. It was on Amazon Prime. It popped up. I saw Alan Alda's face. I saw the words Truman Capote, and I went, all right, 1972. Maybe that means it's probably potentially has some balls. So I watched it. It's low budget, and the low budgetness totally helps the movie. This is a thing where a bigger budget would have been not good. It's got a real documentary handheld camera feel. It's the story of Alan Alda, a professor who kills a guy inadvertently after a car accident, and gets in a fight with a guy and pushes this guy down and completely inadvertently kills the guy. So he only gets a year, but he's put in the pen. And it's him paralleled with Clu Gulager, who's a new prison guard who was in the service, and it's him, kind of both parallel going through the system, and they both have morals. They're not caught up in the system yet, so they're able to be witnesses, which is really interesting. Is really smart writing. So we get to see Alan Alda's character. You can see so much was taken from this movie, especially the opening half is just taken directly and put into Shawshank Redemption. The kind of fresh fish idea and the kind of red-haired thug who kind of runs the prison from the inside, and that's Hugo Slocum, played by Vic Morrow. And it's just a good indictment of the system. It's got tons of racial issues, which is obviously a massive thing if you're doing any prison conversation at all. And it's really heartbreaking. I guess the biggest interaction, other than Alan Alda, whose character's name is Jonathan Page, is, he has to keep Alan Campbell, who's a young kid who's pretty innocent, who gets involved with this prison boss guy, this Hugo Slocum. And Alan Alda's trying to protect him as best he can, but in a realistic way. It's not like a father-son thing. He's just hey, I don't think you should be doing that. That's there's no over-dramatized scenes. Everything feels very natural. And I think one of the things that totally helps that is they shot in a real active prison with real prisoners, as extras and stuff, to the point where Alan Alda, near the end of shooting, got held at knife point by one of the prisoners, and a prison guard had to talk him down from it. And the prisoner was I was just kidding, and that's how nobody got in trouble or whatever. But Alan Alda said, I guess in a book, that he was no, he really was. He was not joking, or if he was, it was scary. Anyway, it's really shows the black and white division in prisons and the corruption, and how prison is a pressure cooker, and that you got to release the steam, but sometimes you just let it blow up because it kind of solves its own problems. That's kind of the theory behind the Institute, but someone like Clu Gulager can't abide by that, He's because he's so new to it, he's there's got to be another way of doing this, and it's really, I don't know, it's fascinating. I think Alan Alda doesn't say anything for the first 25 minutes or something, 23 minutes before he says something. And there's a scene where when he first gets put in his cell, where most movies would never do this, they just hold on his face for I mean, it feels like 2 minutes, but it's probably like 30 seconds. And it's not a stable camera, because that would give it a different feeling, but it's kind of a jittery camera because it's being handheld, and it seems like it's zoomed in a little bit, or like somewhat of a long lens. And he's just listening and like reacting to the room. And you really get the feeling without him saying anything, like, oh my God, this is bad. I'm trapped. This is what it would be like to be put in prison. So I think more so than any other movie, I felt like the reality of being in prison so much, because there isn't like a huge musical score, like something like Shawshank again, that's got like kind of this Norman Rockwell cinematography, which is beautiful, but it almost undercuts the miserable nightmare that is prison, I'm assuming. But I'm not taking anything away from Shawshank. It's a beautiful movie, but this is way more realistic, I think, and way more heartbreaking. It's pretty damn good, man. Alan Alda is awesome in it. Clu Gulager. I can't believe that he wasn't like a bigger star. Billy D, I think his character needed one more scene. He could have used one more scene to beef out his character like earlier in the film, but he's awesome, and what his character represents is so awesome. And then Vic Morrow is like totally, you feel he's a conflicted character, even though he's the bad guy. It's really kind of got everything. It's almost as if Truman Capote wrote it. And like I said, last thing I really want to say about it is just like, this is a perfect example of a movie that it doesn't need much. And it was made at a time where it wasn't given a lot. So it kind of, all it needed was, a good script, which is the first thing you need to make a good movie. And these more than competent actors, that understand the story. And then things like, cinematography and lighting and sound, those things are very important, but you can get around them a little bit. If you know what I mean. You can mess with them a little bit. You don't have to have utterly perfect cinematography if it fits your story. If your story's gritty and not supposed to look pretty because you're in prison, it's not a pretty place. Anyway, I recommend you guys check it out. Even though it's from 1971, I think it's a good cross between like realistic documentary stuff and then kind of like 1930s gangster film, also kind of wrapped in there, but all very naturalistic. And I don't know. TV movies were cool in the 70s sometimes, I think. This is one of them. Maybe this is the only one. I don't know. But I immediately was on board after like 2 minutes of it. All right, let's do a little bit of music. Oh, hang on a second. All right, let's go, music. Do something. Glass House, guys. Check it out. I also started watching Scenes from Marriage, and it stressed me out so much. It's brilliant, but it's made me nauseous. It gave me like a panic attack. I only could watch the first half of the first episode, so we'll see. Jessica Chastain and Oscar Isaac in a Ingmar Bergman remake. Sounds pretty good to me, but stressful. Okay, talk to you soon, guys. Bye. Peace.